Officer Emily Parker had seen almost everything in her 10 years on the force. She'd worked in a small American town called Brookdale, where crime was mostly petty, shoplifting, vandalism, or the occasional domestic dispute. But what she hadn't expected was that one ordinary arrest would lead to the most meaningful experience of her career. It all started on a quiet Tuesday morning. The sky was just waking up, painted in soft oranges and pinks as the first light touched the sleepy streets. Emily was sipping her morning coffee, parked near a small diner, when the radio crackled. Unit 12, possible break-in at Danny's Market. Suspect is believed to be a young male. She set her cup down, started the car, and headed toward the scene. When she arrived, she saw a teenager, maybe 17, standing frozen beside the store. The glass door was shattered, and the boy looked terrified, as if he'd been caught in the middle of doing something he didn't truly want to do. "Hey," Emily said calmly as she stepped out of her car, one hand resting on her belt. "Don't move, okay? I just want to talk." The boy didn't run. He looked at her with a mix of fear and regret. "I didn't mean to. I just needed food," he said, his voice trembling. Emily looked around. The only thing missing seemed to be a few cans of soup and a loaf of bread. She sighed. This wasn't a hardened criminal. This was a hungry kid. "What's your name?" she asked. "Jason," he muttered, eyes downcast. "All right, Jason," she said softly. "Let's sort this out properly." She cuffed him, but not roughly. She didn't see danger, she saw desperation. As she drove him to the station, he stayed quiet. Emily turned off the radio and spoke gently. "You hungry?" He nodded. By the time they reached the station, she had already stopped by a nearby sandwich shop. She handed him a sandwich and a bottle of water as they sat in the small interrogation room. "You don't have to talk right now," Emily said. "But if you want to tell me why you did this, I'll listen." Jason hesitated. "My mom's sick. She can't work. I lost my job last month. We haven't eaten properly in 2 days. I wasn't gonna hurt anyone." Something about his voice hit Emily deep. She'd seen plenty of criminals lie to her face, but Jason's trembling words carried truth. She didn't excuse what he'd done, but she understood it. After the paperwork was filed, Emily decided to dig a little deeper. She found out that Jason's mother, Laura, had been hospitalized weeks ago due to a chronic illness, leaving the boy to fend for himself. The system had missed him entirely. No welfare, no family support. That night, Emily stayed in her office long after her shift ended, rereading his file. She'd grown up in a tough neighborhood herself, and it was only because of one kind teacher that she'd stayed out of trouble. Maybe Jason just needed that same lifeline. The next morning, she met with the station captain. "I want to handle Jason's case personally," she said firmly. "He's not a threat, he's a kid who needs help." The captain frowned. "Parker, we can't make exceptions." "I'm not asking for an exception," she replied. "I'm asking for a chance to make sure he doesn't end up back here." After some convincing, she was granted limited supervision rights over Jason's community service assignment. Instead of jail time, he would help clean up and paint a local youth center. When Emily arrived at the center a week later, she found Jason already there, quietly painting a wall. He looked embarrassed when he saw her. "I guess I'm your project now, huh?" he said awkwardly. Emily smiled. "Not a project, a person. Big difference." Over the following weeks, something remarkable happened. Jason showed up early every day. He worked hard, often staying late to help others. Emily checked in regularly, sometimes bringing lunch, sometimes just talking. They spoke about everything: his dreams, her experiences, and how choices shape lives. Jason confessed he used to want to be a mechanic, but life had other plans. Emily encouraged him to go back to school once things settled. "I messed up," he said one afternoon, wiping sweat from his brow. "Maybe," she replied, "but messing up isn't the same as giving up." As time passed, their bond grew from duty to trust. Emily even helped arrange financial aid for Jason's mom through a local charity. The day Laura was discharged, Emily drove her home. The look of relief and gratitude on Jason's face was something she'd never forget. Months later, Jason completed his community service. But he didn't disappear. He kept volunteering at the youth center, mentoring other troubled teens. One day, he stood beside Emily during a food drive, helping hand out groceries to families in need. "Never thought I'd be on this side of things," he said with a small smile. Emily smiled back. Life has a way of turning around when you stop running from it. The town began to notice the change in Jason. The police station did too. Even the captain admitted, "You were right, Parker. The kid's got potential. Years later, Emily received a letter at the station. It was from Jason. Inside was a photo of him wearing a mechanic's uniform, standing in front of his own small repair shop. The note read, "Greater than, Officer Parker. You believed in me when I didn't believe in myself. I'll never forget that. Thank you for giving me a second chance at life." Emily smiled as she folded the letter carefully. Outside, the sun was setting, the sky burning gold. She looked out at the horizon, knowing that sometimes the smallest act of compassion could change someone's entire story. In that quiet moment, Emily realized she hadn't just saved a boy from the system, she had saved a future. And maybe, in her own way, she had healed a part of herself too. Because redemption, she knew, wasn't just for those who had done wrong. It was for anyone who dared to believe in the good again.